What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing great. Something very interesting that I watched today, and I felt that I should share that with you. President Obama, ex-president of the United States of America, has made a very interesting comment about things that had happened a couple of days ago with regard to the Titan, the submersible. You remember? Okay, let's watch quickly.
But part of the solution is that internationally, all of us have to take responsibility for the circumstances that lead desperate people to come here. But we can't ignore it. I mean, you think about what's happening this week. There is a potential tragedy unfolding with a submarine that is getting, minute-to-minute coverage all around the world. And it's understandable because obviously we all want and pray that those folks are rescued. But the fact that that's gotten so much more attention than 700 people who sank that's an untenable situation. The notion that we can't do something about that is simply not true. And we know we can do something about it. There are countries that have found a balance in which everybody feels as if they have enough.
Unbelievable. This is Barack Obama, ex-president of the United States of America. I'm not his biggest fan, absolutely not. I know that he's done not very much good things for the black community in the United States. But Barack Obama saying this submarine, you remember the Titan, the submarine that went missing, is getting so much coverage compared to 700 people that drowned in the sea. And these 700 people obviously were Africans. They did not get any coverage. Nobody's talking about them. Everybody was talking about the submarine. And this meeting happened right before we knew that the people that went into the submarine were, I'm not going to say the word. So very interesting. So just for you to understand, let's watch what actually happened.
Terrible disaster at sea, a fishing boat sinking with hundreds on board, hundreds of migrants missing.
A fishing boat from Africa with hundreds of migrants.
700 people.
700 people. Nobody gives up.
Were on board, the boat sinking off the coast of Greece. Tonight, the images coming in of rescues, those migrants being pulled from the water, swimming with no life vest to survive.
No life vest and nobody gives up.
Hundreds still missing at this hour. Here's ABC's Marcus Moore.
Tonight, the urgent rescue operation after the deadliest shipwreck off Greece in nearly a decade.
You see that humans don't have the same value.
A Navy helicopter lifting a survivor to safety. More than 100 rescued from this fishing boat that authorities say was packed with nearly 700 migrants when it overturned and sank in the deep waters of the Mediterranean about 50 miles off the coast of Pylos, Greece. Tonight, there are at least 79 dead, with hundreds more still missing. The Greek Coast Guard saying that fishing boat was first spotted midday Tuesday, but those on board refused multiple offers for help, instead continuing their journey from Libya to Italy.
Did you hear about this? No, did you hear about this? No, you didn't. Nobody's talking about this.
Officials say just after 2 o'clock in the morning, the vessel made a series of sharp turns and capsized.
Sharp turns? Why would you make sharp turns in the middle of the sea?
Sinking in less than 15 minutes, passengers falling into the sea. Authorities launching a massive search, a 300-foot private yacht picking up survivors, bringing them back to the shore. Authorities say the migrants rescued were in the water without life jackets. They are believed to have fled from Egypt, Pakistan, and Syria in search of a better life.
Unbelievable. More than 700 people trying to reach Europe, running away from Africa, running away from misery. Yeah, some of them, unfortunately, living through very difficult situation. Yeah, the boat capsized. 700 people on one shipping boat. And obviously this is a very organized, human trafficking sort of organization. We need to say it that way. And unfortunately, many of them not to be found. And nobody is talking about this. And it's just very good to see Barack Obama come forward. I don't know what his agenda really is. But whatever his agenda is, it's just very interesting. Just look at the hypocrisy of the way people looking at him when he's talking about it. Let's watch this again. We have to watch this again.
I think the important projects for all of our democracies is to attend to those who've been left behind in globalization. That means, whether it means educating and training our young people more effectively, whether that means recasting the social safety net, whether that means providing foreign aid to countries. The migrant crisis that Greece bore such a big brunt of over the last 15 years, Greece shouldn't have to bear that alone.
There you go.
But part of the solution is that internationally, all of us have to take responsibility for the circumstances that lead desperate people to come here.
Yes, Europe has to take responsibility for the damage they have done in Africa, with the wars created in Africa, the poverty created because of stealing from Africa, taking African goods, thus sending young Africans trying to go find better life in Europe. So Europeans should take responsibility in some of these things.
But we can't ignore it. I mean, you think about what's happening this week. There is a potential tragedy unfolding with a submarine that is getting, minute-to-minute coverage.
A potential tragedy, and that was when things were still happening. That's when we all were waiting, praying for these people. Obviously, we all wanted them to survive as human beings. I think with the normal empathy that you should have for a fellow human being, we wanted them to be okay. But
all around the world.
Minutes-to-minute coverage all around the world. And like Obama said,
and it's understandable.
We completely understand that.
Because obviously we all want and pray that those folks are rescued. But the fact that that's gotten so much more attention than 700 people who sank.
They are clapping their hands in hypocrisy. Look at them faces. I mean, those are just Africans after all. I mean, who cares? Those are just Africans. We're so used to hearing them doing negative things and bad things happening to them. So we've become very much blinded to what's happening and mute. And we desensitized to what's happened to Africa. That's the word. Unbelievable. I mean, we just need to look back in time. It's very simple, I think, fellas. When Ukrainians were going through a very difficult situation, when the war started in Ukraine and many Ukrainians had to run away from Ukraine, going to Romania and neighboring countries, and some of them trying to get into Europe, they received so much coverage and so much support, which is absolutely normal. As fellow human beings, you don't want to see a fellow human being go through difficulties. You would like to support, to help them. And we completely understand that. And many Ukrainians were accepted into the UK. They opened the door for them, accepting them. Come, stay with us. Some British people were encouraged to accept Ukrainians and receiving incentives from the government. So the government paid money to people to receive Ukrainians in the family. Great thing. But what have they done for Africans? In the same token, nobody gives up about Africans. Again, they came up with a law in the UK saying, stop the boat. You must stop the boat. For the Ukrainians, and they say, welcome the Ukrainians. If they come into your country, we're going to give you money if you accept them in your family. For the Africans, say, we need to stop the boat. So we need to come to sober up around this. Nobody likes us anyway. I'm sorry to say it that way. But this is the hypocrisy. 5 people receive more coverage than 700 people. 5 people. Obviously, they're billionaires, and because money means everything to everybody in the world today. It's not about human beings. 5 people receive the same thing. And let's go back again. Like President Cyril Ramaphosa made a comment in a video I made 2 days ago. He said during COVID, the vaccines were limited to Europe. When Africans asked to produce vaccine in Africa, they refused to let them do it. When Africans asked for vaccine in Africa, they refused because most European countries had purchased the vaccine for themselves. So it's felt to him, and as it feels to me now, that some people in the world are valued much higher than other people in the world. Let me know how you feel about this. I feel very sad. May peace be with the people that have departed in both ways, whether it's the submarine people or some of our African brothers. May peace be with them, but it's a very sad situation. And again, for Africans that are watching, stay home and build from home. The money that you are spending trying to cross the Mediterranean, I don't know how much it is, but it's certainly not smaller or lower than $1,000. You could spend that money and start something small in your neighborhood. You can start a small business in a corner. You can do. I don't care what you're gonna do. You're gonna sell potatoes. You're gonna sell tomatoes. You're gonna sell cigarettes. Whatever that is, build from home. I don't think it's worth the risk going all the way, spending your money. There's nothing special in Europe that you cannot build yourself in Africa. In fact, many people that went to Europe, yes, they have realized that life is not in Europe.
I'm telling Africans who are there that I am guilty for being here. If you come here, you are running from your work. You are running from changing Africa.
If you wanna get get bigger, you want to be great, you want to make a lot of money, it's actually in Africa that you can do it. Because everything's still white and clear, virgin. Everything's still blank. You can create things yourself. You can build up yourself. Everything is done already over there. Everything is already accomplished in Western countries. There's nothing else you need to do over there. Let me know how you feel. Again, 5 people got more coverage than 700 people in the same situation. God bless.